All right, ladies and gentlemen of the YouTube citizens, y'all know who this is. This is your boy Dash True Inferno. Back at it with another Throwback Tunes on another Thursday. Okay, so this one, some of you guys may find a little bit emotional. Now, you've seen the cover, you've seen the name of the album, and you've seen who made the album, and you're thinking to yourself, how could you get emotional from this? Or really, you guys thinking, how could I get emotional from this? Well, let me explain to you the info behind this album. You know, the regular standard info, like the record label, the producers involved, and more importantly, when it was released. So, this album is called Ghetto Fabolous, which is the debut studio album by Fabolous. Now, keep in mind, now, I did review an album a long time ago that just so happened to be called Ghetto Fabolous with the word fabulous spelled correctly with 2 U's instead of 2 O's. And that was done by Mystical from No Limit. Well, this one was done a few years after that by Fabolous spelled with 2 O's instead of 2 U's. We get more of that later. There's a little bit of background story behind that. So, let's move on. This album was recorded from 2000 up to 2001. It was created under Desert Storm and Electric Records. And is it just Desert Storm or is it Desert Storm? Yeah, just Desert Storm. We'll roll with that. So some of you may have remembered or heard of Desert Storm. So the producers involved are DJ Clue, the Neptune, so we're talking Pharrell, obviously, Rock Wilder, Timbaland, Rick Rock, Just Blaze, Duro, Omen, Russ the Spider, Amado Collins, that's a new one, DJ Envy, and Mono. And yeah, that's everybody. So, notice how I skipped the release date of this album. So this joint came out September 11th, 2001. Yeah, the same day the Twin Towers incident happened. Yep, the joint came out the same day. So, yeah, let that sink in. That's why I say that bit of info last there. Alright, so let me give you guys some background info on this album. So, but actually, no, before I do that, let me go through the charts and the accolades and the certifications and the track listing, more importantly. So once I get done with the track listings, then I give you guys some background info on this album, things of that nature. So the album itself was, if memory serves me correctly, it was platinum. Yeah, it was platinum. It was number 4 on the Billboard 200. Number 2 on the top R&B/hip hop album. So since it was platinum, it sold around 1 million copies. So yeah, his debut album, and it went platinum. All right, now let me give you guys the tracks. So there's 16 tracks. Now I'm gonna go on the record and say none of them are skits, despite the fact that the first track is only 2 minutes and 4 seconds long. But he actually performs. He actually raps. So I'm gonna say there's 16 tracks, meaning I can give you guys a top 5 and not a top 3. And here's where things will get confusing as well. Technically, there's 2 singles, but you could look at this and say there's a third. We'll get more on that in a second. So the first track is called Click and Spark. So that's the one I'm talking about. That was like 2 minutes, 4 seconds long. Followed by Keep It In Gangsta. We'll get more on that in a second. That's not a single, but I do have a little bit of info on that track. Now the third track is the second single off this album called Youngin', and then in parentheses, Holla Back. So if you remember that, it went like this: Holla Back, Youngin', whoop whoop. Yeah, y'all still remember that. Track number 4 is called Get Right, followed by Ride for This featuring Ja Rule. Track number 6 is called One Day, followed by track number 7, which is the question mark single Trade It All featuring Jagged Edge. We'll get more on that later. Track number 8 is called Right Now and, you know, the N symbol, Right Now and Later On, followed by Take You Home featuring Lil Mo. Track number 10 is called Get Smart, followed by the debut single off this album, which is called Can't Deny It, featuring Nate Dogg. Some of you may remember that as well. Track number 12 is called Ma, with the apostrophe, Ma Be Easy, followed by We Don't Give a Fuck. Track number 14 is called Bad Guy, featuring, and I crap you not, this is his actual name. This is my first time hearing about this guy. I have never heard this guy before until this right here. I crap you not. The song features Pain in the Ass. D-A, Pain in the Ass. I crap it. That's his name. I can't believe somebody actually named themselves that. Pain in the Ass. Give it up for Pain in the Ass. Like, what? Oh, but whatever. Moving on. Track number 15, Gotta, G-O-T-T-A, Gotta Be a Thug. And then the last track is If They Want It. All right. So, notice how we got Ja Rule, Jagged Edge, Lil Mo. Well, okay. Ja Rule, Jagged Edge, Lil Mo wasn't up there yet. Nate Dogg with the features. You got Pharrell, DJ Clue, the Rock Riders, and the rest of the Neptunes, DJ Envy, Timbaland, a lot of well-known performers, rappers, singers, and producers in a debut album, which is very uncommon. I wouldn't say it's not rare, but it's very uncommon. So here's what led to all of that, and we could get on with the name himself. So while in his senior year, Fabolous, real name John Davis Jackson, which is like three common names, but whatever. He began to pursue a career in rap music. They say hip hop, I'm calling it rap music. In the early years of his career, he rapped under the name Fabolous, spelled like that, Fabulous Sport, in reference to Rap Lauren's Polo Sport line. However, this was later shortened to simply Fabolous. The misspelling of Fabolous was unintentional. He said that he originally intended to be simply called Fabulous with the two U's rather, but incorrectly spelled it during a freestyle and it stuck. He was invited to rap live on American record producer and music executive DJ Clue's radio show, then on New York radio station Hot 97, and Fabolous and NRE rapped over the instrumentals to The Lox, Money, Power, and Respect, and Clue subsequently signed him to his record label, Desert Storm Records. Oh, so there's a record with that name, okay. And he was featured on several DJ Clue's mixtapes, as well as mixtapes with Rockefeller artists. So this earned Fabolous and Desert Storm a distribution deal with Electro Records. And here's a bit of an interesting note. On September 6, 2001, in an interview with Hot104.com, Fabolous said he never planned on becoming a rapper and told the website, and I'm quoting here, "I was just trying to make some money, you know? I got tired of being broke. This was something where I could make some money. It just happened for me," end quote. So his name was obviously misspelled, but he ran with it anyway. And because of the fact that he was on mixtapes with DJ Clue and Rockefeller, that's how the likes of, Ja Rule, Jagged Edge, Nate Dogg, obviously DJ Clue, DJ Envy, obviously, so he was also part of that story. Just Blaze, Timbaland, and the Neptunes. That's how they all worked with him on his debut album. Not his second or third or ever. I'll review his second next week, but his debut album. All right, so let's take a look at the 4 songs. So the first song we're gonna look at is his first single, his first single, my bad, which is called Can't Deny It. Joint came out June 19, 2001, and it features Nate Dogg. Here's a little bit of an interesting note. Uncredited background vocals by Lil Mo. So why she wasn't credited with the background vocals, I have no clue, but whatever. And the chorus contains similar lyrics to the chorus of Tupac's Ambition as a Rider. Y'all remember that track? And there is also a music video for this song as well. And it did make the charts. 25th on the US Billboard Hot 100, 13th on the US Billboard Hot R&B/Hip Hop Songs charts, and 11th on the US Billboard Hot Rap Singles. So there you go with that. Now let's look at the second single, which is called Holla Back Youngin. Well, it's called Youngin, and then parentheses Holla Back. So this joint came out December 29th, 2001, and yeah, there's a music video for this as well. More than likely, there's a music video for this. And the song was used in a lot of promotional material for the popular video game Need for Speed Underground, and will feature as a soundtrack in the game's game demo, but was similarly removed from the final cut, which is very interesting. All right, it did make the charts this year. It was 33rd on the US Billboard Hot 100 and 17th on the US Hot R&B/Hip Hop Singles and Tracks. Now, here's where things got a little bit interesting because of the next single I'm going to mention here. So the next single is Trade It All. So here's the thing with this one. So the reason why I said this is it's iffy as a single because of this. So there is a music video for Trade It All, but it's actually a music video for Trade It All Part 2, which does still features Jagged Edge, but it also features P. Diddy, as he went on at that time. And originally, that song was a part of the Barbershop soundtrack. So if you watch the music video, you saw, what's the name? Cedric the Entertainer in there, Ice Cube in there. So some of the cast from Barbershop was in the music video. Shout out to Jalen Rose, he was in there too. He made a cameo in there as well. That song was also a part of his next album, which is called Street Dreams, which I will review next week. So they refer to Traded All Part 1 as a single, but in actuality it's not. And the Barbershop soundtrack came out before his second album came out, which is called Street Dreams. So that's why it's like blah. And then moving on to the fourth song I want to talk about, and that is Keeping It Gangsta. So if you recall, there was a certain talk about racing games like Need for Speed. There was a certain racing game that came out back in those days called Midnight Club 3 Dub Edition. Yes, that song was a part of that game soundtrack. And I would admit, like, because I play all the most of the Midnight Club games outside from the Dub Edition remix and whatever the fourth game is, that alternate version that was on the GameCube or something like that, I don't know. But that's beside the point. Man, it's a tough one in terms of who had the best soundtrack. I'm gonna say Midnight Club 2 did, but Midnight Club 3, that was a really good soundtrack as well. And Keep It a Gangsta was really dope. Alright, so with all the songs out the way, let me give you guys my favorite tracks off this album from worst to first. And Click and Spark is the worst track off this album. It should have been a skit. The tempo is cool, but the melody is straight. The bass is bland, as it needs a lot more of it. The kick is just straight. The snare is cool though. Overall, the track is straight. Why for this? The tempo is cool, same with the melody. The bass is straight, same with the kick. The snare was cool. Overall, the track is cool. Next up is One Day. This is, I guess you could call this the mellow out joint. The tempo is cool. The melody is straight with the pianos and the scratches. Needs a bass though. The kick is really cool. The snare is cool. Overall, the track is still cool. Next up is We Don't Give a Fuck. The beat and drum patterns are cool. Tempo is cool. Melody is really cool. The bass is straight. Needs more of it. The kick is cool. The snare is bland. Overall, the track is cool. Next up is Right Now and Later On. Beat and drum patterns for this track are cool. The tempo is straight. The melody is cool. Same with the bass, as it got better at verse 2. The kick is cool. The snare is straight. Overall, the track is cool. Take You Home. The beat, once again, the beat and drum patterns are cool. The tempo is cool. Same with the melody and the bass. The kick is really cool. The snare is cool. Overall, the track is just cool. Next up is My Be Easy. The drum pattern is cool. Tempo is cool, but could be faster. The melody is cool. The bass is straight. Needs more of it. It needs to be more obvious. It was kind of hard to tell that there is a bass in that track, but there is one. The kick is cool. Same with the snare. Overall, the track is cool. Next up is If They Want It. The drum pattern is cool. Expect to hear that a lot, by the way. Tempo is cool, but could be faster. The melody is cool. Same with the bass, the kick, and the snare. Basically, the track is cool. Next up is Trade It All. The tempo is cool. Same with the melody and the bass and the kick. The snare was just straight. Overall, the track is cool. And let me tell you something. Sneak peek for next week. Part 2 is way better. Part 2 is way better. Next up is Can't Deny It. The tempo is cool. Same with the melody. The bass is straight, but the kick is really cool. The snare is cool. Overall, the track is cool. And then we got Get Smart. The drum pattern is really cool. Tempo is cool. Same with the melody. Bass is cool. Kick is straight. It's a bit too weak. The snare is cool and the track is cool. Alright. Top 5 tracks off this album. The 5th best track off this album is Bad Guy. This is a mellow out joint. The tempo is cool. Same with the melody and the bass. The kick is really cool. The snare is cool. The track is cool. The hook contains skit. So it's not like him performing the hook. You should hear some dude talking, probably from a movie or a TV show, something like that, whatever the case may be. Now, the 4th best track off this album is Youngin', Holla Back. The beat pattern is really cool. The tempo is really cool. The melody is cool. The bass is cool. Same with the kick. The snares are straight though, but overall the track is still really cool nevertheless. The best track off this album is Gotta Be Thug. Tempo is cool. Melody is really cool. The bass is really cool. Same with the kick. The snare is just cool, but overall the track is really cool. And this was kind of close, but I went with Keeping It Gangsta as the 2nd best track off this album. The drum pattern is really cool, especially when the kicks were going off. So, you could constantly hear the, it was dope. That part was really, really dope. I really like that. The tempo is cool. Melody is really cool. The bass is cool, but needs more of it. The kick is really cool. The snare is cool. Overall, the track is really cool. Number one track off this album is Get Right. The intro is misleading in a great way, which, like, who say that? I say that. Deal with it. The tempo is really cool. The melody is really cool. It has a little synth bass, and it was just bland, but the kick is really cool, and the snare is really cool. Overall, the track is really cool. So Get Right is the best track off this album. So a lot of these beats, you know, the drum patterns and the beat patterns are unique, but they really cool, and the kick is, for the most part, cool. All right, let me give you guys some professional rating. All Music gave it a 3 out of 5 stars. Entertainment Weekly gave it a C. Hip Hop DX also gave it a 3 out of 5 stars. Rap Review gave it a 6 out of 10 stars. And Rolling Stones gave it a 3.5 out of 5 stars. So what did I think about this album? Well, I will admit, let me tell you guys something real quick. Like, I heard of Fabolous singles. You know, I watched his music videos, or I listened to his songs on the radio back in the day. And since I played Midnight 2, I listened to his songs off of there. Like, occasionally he have good singles, he have good songs, but they were never good enough for me to go out and actually get his album. So I never really messed with him like that. But my boy Dave Doe did. Like, that's one of his all-time favorite artists. But when I heard Ghetto Fabolous, I'm gonna have to give this a 4.5 out of 5. There's a lot of potential here with some of these beats. You know, whether it's needed more bass, or the snare sounded off, or the kick was weak at times. But there's some potential here, so I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. I recommend you download it and you keep it. So that's my rating for that one. All right, so I'm going to call it a wrap. So with that said, y'all know who this is. This is boy New J Gatsby, a.k.a. the new Stephen A. Smith, saying peace out, y'all, and I'll see y'all next time. Yeah.